Welcome back, family, to the Gifted Goddess channel where I will be sharing my gifts with you. And I encourage you to embrace your gifts and share them with the collective as you deem fit. So let's get into this message. Today is October 8th. Regardless, when you see these messages, they are timeless. As always, we hope and pray that the algorithm does us justice and these messages reach who they need to reach in divine timing, right? So I was getting a lot of Edgar Allan Poe energy. So Nevermore kept coming through. Nevermore. I don't know if you ever heard that poem. If you're an Edgar Allan Poe fan, The Raven was coming through strong. Definitely something about magic school or magic training, right? So you're basically, if you're connecting with this energy, you are learning the tricks of the trade, picking up things along the way. And these could be your gifts, right? Because the ability to do so, to pick up things along the way, kind of be instinctively doing kind of the magical magician type of things, right? There's sometimes that we naturally do things that are spiritual in nature, or I don't want to say ritualistic, but it's given that energy. There's times where I myself have done things just upon instinct, and then I learned later that this is like an actual practice people do in their routines, right? Um, Not casting spells or anything, not me anyway, but if you know, you know. So something is about to take flight, or you're about to take flight, or you've taken flight, right? Or you've ascended into this journey of kind of exploring your spirituality, your two, as I said that, um, exploring your own sense of magic in life, right? And your own way of expressing maybe your magician, your inner magician, maybe messing around, playing with, toying with manifestation. Um, I'm seeing candles, feathers, wand. That's another thing that came through. Maybe you ought to get a wand, is what came through specifically. Um, I know I myself, that sounds like a good idea. So if you resonate with this energy, that probably resonates with you. Maybe you were recently looking at wands. It is spooky season. Now is the time to get out there and get one if you are so inclined to do so. The message came through, you're no longer in Kansas anymore. So something about Kansas, Missouri is very significant. Maybe you live there, maybe you're from there. I'm hearing originally from there and maybe not there anymore, or you plan to travel there. But something about Kansas is very significant. And we know that comes from the movie The Wizard of Oz, or The Wiz, where Dorothy's no longer in Kansas. She's on her way to Oz, right? And, along the way, she's learning the tricks of the trade. She meets the individuals, I was about to say the wolf, so that wolf could be significant for someone, but she meets the lion, the tin man, and the scarecrow. So something about that could be significant. Maybe you need to go watch The Wizard of Oz. Maybe you've just watched it. Again, the time is now for all things, spooky, witchy, if I could say so. Dolls come a dime a dozen. You're one of a kind. So embrace your uniqueness is what came through. I thought that was so, I just loved that message when it came through. I thought it was so just perfect and unique, right? Dolls come a dime a dozen, but you're one of a kind. So you're not just any doll, honey. You're special. Perhaps a Wednesday doll. I know myself, I've always connected with the energy of Wednesday. I won't get too deep into that. If you know, you know. So embrace your own uniqueness. Then what came through was the black butterfly. And when I heard that, okay, so you could be seeing black butterflies. So that could resonate with you, or that could be a synchronicity for you that this is your message. But specifically, I got the song Rockabye by the singing group Black Butterfly. Now I'm kind of showing my age a little bit. Um, but they were a group, I want to say in the early 2000s. I should have looked up the song. But the song goes, Rockabye, I'll be your baby, rockabye. Make me go crazy, rockabye. Something, something, put me straight to sleep. So something about that song could be significant. I haven't heard that song in, let's say, decades, not even just years. So yeah, that came through out of nowhere. Um, the state of Georgia is significant. The initials G, A could be significant. Maybe those are your initials or someone in your life or in your vicinity, in your auric field, as I like to say. Or you could live in the state of Georgia, planning to travel there. Um, know people from there is what I'm getting. And then homecoming came through, and then the date September 2022. So any of that could be significant. Maybe you're going, I don't even know if we're in homecoming season right now, if that's already passed. Perhaps you were in the state of Georgia for homecoming or in September 2022. And then that's 222 again. So something about partnerships, balance, duality is significant here. Perhaps you're learning to balance your, let's say, normie side and outcast side or witchy side, right? Perhaps that is significant. Maybe you're kind of walking that fine line, trying to figure it out, how to incorporate a sense of spirituality if this path is new to you, and how to incorporate that in your everyday life without feeling that imposter syndrome, is what I'm getting. So, somebody has a stalker situation ending. If it pertains to you, it pertains to you. The next message that came through was OUTKAST, the group. So if you haven't been here already, you know that I channel a lot through songs. So a lot of times songs are just dropped on me. So these next couple of downloads that I have to record are song heavy. Um, so this one in particular, OUTKAST, the song AT Aliens. So that just goes back to the state of Georgia, ATL, Atlanta. Maybe you're from there, planning to go there, know people there, or someone in Atlanta, their soccer situation is ending. That could be significant. But what I also got from the OUTKAST AT Aliens is they talk about the aliens coming here, and I feel like we're already here. Little do they know, y'all thinking something's about to drop out of the sky. And while there might be extraterrestrial beings, right? But the aliens, if you ask me, are the outcasts, the people who resonate with this type of energy, the ones who embrace the narrow path, the kind of witchy path, the different path, the unique path, where we're more individual and less of the I was gonna say mob mentality or the group thinking mentality or the, I don't want to say sheeple, but it's given the sheeple. So if you know, you know. But most of us who don't really resonate with mainstream society and kind of feel more comfortable in our own space, in our own energy, doing our own thing, not afraid to be ourselves, be authentic, be different, be real. I'm not saying that other people aren't, but you know, the outcasts really live in that energy full and full, like we're authentic in that. So those are your aliens. Those are your AT aliens. So if you resonate with that type of energy, if you are an outcast AT alien, no matter where you're from, you just authentic with yourself, being unique, embracing your uniqueness, your individual energy. Put an alien emoji in the comment section if you resonate. I have celebrations or concerts perhaps coming up for you. So you could be celebrating something soon. Perhaps you're going to a concert. I just heard spooky type concert. Um, if that's the case, enjoy, have fun. Just be aware. Now I'm seeing fire signs, and it just made me think of fire exits. So just be aware of your exits all the time, especially when you're going out to these different celebrations and concerts and things of that nature. You know, you don't want to invoke the energy of fear, but, you know your surroundings is what I'm getting. I got you are the phoenix flying, not just rising. So that is significant for you. If you found yourself in this energy on this video, at any time when you see this, you are the phoenix that is flying, not just rising. So you have spread your wings, honey, and you are in flight, embracing that uniqueness, right? And that just goes up into what I first said earlier in the message. You're ready to take flight, or you're in flight, right? So something about writing is significant. I don't know if you are a writer, aspire to be a writer, you kind of jot things down, but something came through saying watch your writing. Not everyone is to be trusted with your precious words. So mothers are significant. So I don't know if you have a mother who is in Atlanta, Georgia. Perhaps her initials are GA or AG, could be significant. I've been seeing AG everywhere. The number 49 also came to, I don't know if your mom's 49 or you're 49. Something about that is significant, but not everyone can be trusted with your precious words. And what I'm getting from that is, yes, the words you write down, but also the words that you speak, right? We don't want to be, I don't want to say wasting energy, but we don't want to be in a space where we are trying to convince people of who we are, is what I'm hearing. Own your uniqueness. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. And that just goes for anyone, right? Mothers included. So the next message I got is to respect your gifts and don't abuse them. So you don't want to drain your gifts, your energy. You don't want to, I just saw 1311. That could be significant for someone. Perhaps that angel number is significant. You could look that up. I just heard time. So perhaps you go off of military time. Um, so yeah, but that could also equal 411, 4:2. Any of that could be significant. Now I'm looking at Ephesians 4:2 sitting on my desk. So 4:2 could definitely be significant for someone. But you don't want to drain your energy, sapping all your energy in people, places, and situations that don't respect or honor your gifts, honor your words. Perhaps you're giving advice to people, or your words matter and they carry weight, apparently, whether they're written or said. So be mindful of not wasting that energy where it's not appreciated, right? Go where you are appreciated and respected, not where you're just tolerated. I keep getting mothers are significant. So maybe you have a mother wound that you need to deal with. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Okay, now I'm looking at another note. It says empathy requires no explanation. Shouldn't have to be extorted out of a person. So perhaps there was a situation with a close one, loved one, family member, friend, mother, where empathy should have been shown and it wasn't. perhaps someone incapable of showing you compassion or support in ways that you may have needed, particularly in your writing or in a career or with your gifts, embracing your gifts. One, the message that I'm getting is basically if they haven't been able to hone in and kind of ground their gifts, we should be cognizant of that and what's the word? Give them grace. Because if they couldn't do it for themselves, they probably won't understand you trying to operate in your gifts as well. So if you are someone who's gifted, maybe you have one of the clairs, some of the clairs, all of the clairs, some of the things. I'm getting the clairtangency kind of strong and clear sight. Um, so if maybe you have that going on, perhaps you're a dreamer, I'm getting as well too. A lot of people don't know how to deal with that. It's kind of a taboo topic in a lot of cultures and a lot of family structures, dynamics, and systems. So if that isn't embraced with everyone, just know that it's okay. It's your, I don't want to say job, but it's your. It's important that you accept you for you, right? It would be nice if everyone else does, and if they don't, are you gonna let that stop you? So don't waste your gifts on pranks to be taken seriously. You're not a showpiece. So don't feel like you have to show and prove to your family. Again, that's coming through strong. You shouldn't have to defend who you are. Again, that message is coming through very strong. So if you find yourself on the defense or like over explaining things or trying to prove yourself or prove your gifts in a type of way to prove their validity, to get the respect and love or attention that you are maybe seeking or wishing for outside of yourself, don't even do it. As long as you are comfortable with who you are, operating in your gifts, then you do you. Support is support. Either they do it or they don't, right? Um, So whether you're an outcast, black sheep, the scapegoat, this is all coming through. So I'll probably title this something about outcast. Maybe I'll put a cool ATA lens thing on the picture for this video. That's coming through strong. Whatever they call you, whatever you deem yourself or you've been deemed by society, many names, it's all one and the same. Pay it no mind. Just never pay it any mind. You define who you are by your actions, your behavior, your character, how you show up as a person. So no matter how dark they try to paint it, because let's be real, if you have these kind of innate gifts, a lot of people don't know what to do with you, and they kind of go to like fear tactics or shame, and you can't allow that energy into your energy because then it'll just get you off track. It'll make you question yourself, and then you're not in sync with your intuition. And if you know, you know, if you're not in sync with your intuition, when operating in your gifts, it's going to leave you feeling confused and kind of struggling with clarity with the different gifts that you have, right? So if you know, you know, I'm not going to go too deep into that because if you're here, I'm confident that you know. Understand that there are others like you, and you'll find your crew, you'll find your soul tribe, you'll find those people, you'll find your purpose, right? So the way that you do that is remaining authentic in self, remaining authentic in who you are, showing your gifts as bright and as loud as you can, sharing them, you know, as you deem fit, not to show pony them or like, you know, in a showboaty way to be like a showpiece or like a, I'm hearing like make a mockery of or like make a circus about it. But being authentic in your gifts, being authentic in who you are, and having that having your gifts kind of feed your purpose, you'll find your tribe. You know, when you're authentic, you'll find people who are authentically like you for you, right? So if you're portraying something that you're not, people are going to gravitate towards you before something that you're not, right? So it won't be an authentic connection. I think we often struggle with connections feeling like they're inauthentic because there's a disconnect, right? And a lot of times, what we don't understand is the disconnect is because we aren't showing up as our authentic selves, right? So, I have this experience in life as well too. I don't necessarily show up as the gifted writer or someone who enjoys writing poetry. I spent the night of the full moon the other night writing poetry under the full moon, right? So that's not something I really share with everybody, right? Because what? You do what? Yes, what do you mean you don't sip tea and write love poetry under the full moon? What are you doing with your evenings? Like, if you're not doing that, it sounds quite mundane, right? I wasn't showing up in that energy, so then I'm attracting people who, we have other things in common, like work related stuff or kind of surface level stuff, never getting really to the deep crux or the core of who I really was or who I really am. So that could be significant for someone. Just show up as your authentic self. I promise you, you'll find more outcasts, more ATLians, more black sheep, more scapegoated people who resonate with you and can vibrate on your energy, and they understand you completely. There's no over explanation needed. There's nothing extra needed. It's already a vibe. They're already on the same energy. So I won't beat a dead horse with that one. Another thing that came through is your guides, your spirit guides, may not be who you expect them to be. So your guides, spirit guides, ancestors even, I'm hearing, won't always be who you expect them to be. So yeah, if you're on this journey, just expect the unexpected, right? The people that come through to us often are aligned with our gifts and our purpose, right? So if you don't know, you haven't walked this path right yet, you haven't been this person yet, right? This is new to you. You're on ascension, you're growing into your highest path. You want to walk your highest path towards your purpose in alignment with the divine's will for your life, right? And how that shall affect others in their life. So when you're on this path, you're evolving and kind of unveiling a new you, right? So, that can be difficult and confusing on its own. But you will get to a point in a path where the guides are changing, alternating given the situation. And I'm getting used discernment. That was the message that I got. Some are of light and others are not, right? Some are, I got impervious to the light. That's another, I wrote that in a blog called The Dark Night. It was all about the spiritual nature of narcissism. Maybe that's too deep to get into right here. But oh, okay, some people are impervious to the light. So keep walking towards the light. Keep walking with your guides. Use your discernment. Trust where you're being led and guided to. Always, if you need to, pray for clarity on this path. Pray for purpose. Pray for alignment. Pray for discernment as you continue on this path, right? I got, you will be remembered in more ways than you could know. So in this energy, in this space, when you're evolving to your best self, right, other people can see that. It's in you and it's on you, I'm hearing. So people will try to recruit you because of course they want people with that high level of energy, a high level of discernment, a high level of intelligence on the team, right? So watch out for energy traps, things that sap your energy and never replenish. Reciprocal relationships only is what you should be striving for. So, of course, you want to be loving, giving, kind, all those things. But if it's not feeding you in return, then that's something you should take a look at. So, that's the message. I have some initials, like I said, GA or AG is significant, very significant. I've been seeing AG everywhere I go. I don't know what's going on, whoever those initials are. Um, USA came through, like I said, the number 49. So that angel number could be significant. And remember, I told you numbers can be significant. It doesn't have to be an even 222, 333. It can be a 1052. That's another name. That's another number that came through. Also, 122 was coming through strong today. I've been seeing 122 everywhere. So that could be a significant number for you, perhaps your birthday, maybe you're a January 22nd birthday or a December 2nd birthday. Maybe you have an April 9th birthday. I'm getting October 5th or October 2nd, May 2nd, May 10th, February 10th, February 25th, February 1st, May 1st. Any of those could be significant. The color blue is standing out. So perhaps you need to balance and work on your throat chakra. Perhaps there are things that you need to say, and you just need to be mindful of your words, though, right? Again, that mother energy is significant. Perhaps you need to have a clearing conversation with a mother figure. It doesn't have to be your mom. It could be a mother figure, someone who is just a mother in your life. I got endless blues. Again, blue is very significant. It's been coming through in almost all my downloads. So the throat chakra can need healing, or you just need to use it more endlessly, I'm hearing. So perhaps speaking is in your calling. So if that resonates, you'll know. I have the confirmation for someone. You can't be delusional if other people feel it too. You can't be delusional if other people see it too. Okay, so if you're on this path, on this journey, sometimes you will feel cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? But you have to understand that because it's new, of course, it's going to feel strange and foreign, alien, right? And what do? We tend to fear or condemn or shun away from, shun or shy away from things that are unfamiliar, right? So let's not do that. Just trust your intuition, go where you're called, trust that you will be led to your highest purpose and timeline, right? But I just want to say another thing, that your ancestors, angels, spirit guides, the Most High wouldn't call you to do something negative, right? So if you feel inclined or encouraged to do something negative or cause harm, that's where it's coming from, right? Somebody impervious to the light. um, so Billy Blue Eyes, is that a song? I feel like, I don't know. Bill Blue Eyes is what came through. So maybe your name is Bill. Maybe you got blue eyes. Something about that is significant for somebody. Follow the money. Follow the money. Somebody needs to be told that. Follow the money. Something about Egypt is significant, and perhaps pagans. Maybe you're being called to study Egyptians. Okay, yeah, confirmation. Pagans, Druids, Greeks, so different cultures and different things on how they view and see different things. Perhaps animal totems as well. The eagle is coming through strong, and we know eagles are all about ascension. Nothing ascends higher than the eagle, right? So you want to strive to be like the eagle, you can call on the spirit of the eagle in your ascension journey for strength, for courage to fly those tremendous heights and have the wisdom, the courage, the know how, the knowledge, and the clarity of sight right when you get there, because the journey will require all that. But a lot of flying energy. We have the phoenix, the eagle, so a lot of flying energy, ascension energy. We had the raven in the beginning, so a lot of birds. Maybe you're being called to study birds, or maybe you're a bird watcher. Something of that is significant. And something with oil. Maybe you have anointing oil. Maybe you need to use anointing oil. Oh, I'm hearing maybe you need to create your own anointing oil. So use that magic. Use what maybe some herbs and essential oils you're called to use to create your kind of own oil for, anointing yourself for rituals or self-care, self-love rituals, I'm hearing. So that could be significant for someone. Perhaps you're looking into that, or maybe you need to. Hell, I might after I just said that. So I hope that this message resonates with you guys. Like I said, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, so other people who need to hear the message or those who may benefit from it can be found. Thank you again for tuning in.